That is right. The kings of the AFC South are here as the Tennessee Titans get it done. They defeat the Indianapolis Colts 45-26. I am your host, King MJ. And man, this was one of the few times of the season where I actually thought the Tennessee Titans were going to lose the game, as I predicted yesterday. In my preview of this Titans versus Indianapolis Colts game, I had the Titans losing 31-27. I just thought that with all the injuries they're having defensively to Jadeveon Clowney, Adoree Jackson still not coming back, Jayon Brown being out for the season, the Colts were once again just going to move the football on this football team and ultimately put up too many points, and the Titans were not going to put up enough points to ultimately win this game. I was incorrect. The Titans came out so hot. They got it done. And as of right now, are kings of the AFC South. And I'm already going to predict will win the AFC South, as this is an Indianapolis Colts team that has already lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I don't think the Tennessee Titans are going to lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think they will probably also sweep the Houston Texans if they have to, Week 17, to win the division. This is a Tennessee Titans team that has the Browns, the Jaguars, and I want to say, I can't remember the other team, but another very, the Browns are good, okay? Don't get me wrong, the Browns are good. But I think they're about to win 3 straight games going up. And then the Colts schedule is a little more difficult. And I think that this division is honestly going to go to the Tennessee Titans. It's not over. It's not a wrap. But I feel very, very confident after today's game. And man, we have some kings not only here in this room, but for this Tennessee Titans team. We're going to discuss this game today. Let's look at my MJ takes, my king MJ takes of this great football game, this great victory of the Tennessee Titans in this AFC South showdown. We begin that the offense picked up right where it left off, man. Let's start with that man, King A.J. Brown. You can feel it. It's electric with A.J. Brown. Now, where is he on my elite meter? The King MJ elite meter. He is E-L-I-T-F. Oh, so close. F. He has the first 2 strokes and the long stroke. He just has to get that last stroke. How do I spell F? Let's spell it this way. So boom, okay? Boom, right? Boom, and then ow, I couldn't go on the E. So he has the F right now. He has the F and then one more and then boom. It'll be complete. He will have the E. He will be E-L-I-T-E. But for right now, he's E-L-I-T-F. He's a lit F. Okay, he's close. He's close. But man, I mean, were you sliding with me when this man was catching this touchdown? This guy, I don't know if I think he legitimately is the best wide receiver or at least the most dangerous wide receiver I've ever seen on a slant across the middle. I mean, if you give this man a slant across the middle, the probability of him going all the way is higher than I've ever seen for any wide receiver ever. And you have speedsters out there like Deshaun Jackson that are not as likely to go the long distance as A.J. Brown, because not only does he have the speed, but he has the power. He has the strength to battle through tackles, but the deceptive speed and the acceleration to get past you. That's why these 40-yard dash times, they're not as meaningful as a lot of people want to believe that they are. Look at their agility. Look at their acceleration. Look at the fact that when you go past 40 yards, what's their top end speed? Can they hold on to their top end speed? Some people, yes, those 40 yards, boom, they'll run a 4.4 or 4.3, but then for the next, however many yards, they'll be slower than a Derrick Henry, than an A.J. Brown, despite having been quicker in those 40 yards, in those 30 yards, in those 20 yards. There are people there are wide receivers and running backs that are so fast in the first 20 seconds of 40 The last 20, sorry, first 20 yards of a 40, the last 20 yards, A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry will be faster than them, but people don't account for that. This is why A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry are so dangerous. This is why, oh my God, what a combination we have here in Tennessee, and I'm here for it. He is ELITF, and I am here for it. Now, with that said, we have another very good wide receiver in the Tennessee Titans building, and that is Corey Davis. We've got Corey in the house. Corey in the house. That's my new Corey Davis bit. I finally came up with one. And he deserves it, man. The guy not only deserves that, but he deserves an extension, man. The guy is playing extremely well. Came down with 3 catches for 70 yards today, including a huge 4th down conversion at the end of the first half to set up the Titans for what really was the game-clinching touchdown to go up 35-14. Corey Davis was absolutely fantastic. I want that man re-signed. I want this duo of A.J. Brown, Corey Davis for the next 5+ years. I want it, I demand it, I command it as king of this Tennessee Titan Nation. That's what I want, that's what I'm demanding, and that is what we should get, man. We have not had 2 wide receivers like this ever. Point blank, period. And I know everyone loved, the Derrick Mason, and then put in X name here because sometimes, there'd be a little rotation there of whoever was next to Derrick Mason. I don't really care. To me, this is the best duo we ever had, at least talent-wise, and the production's getting there. I mean, there is a decent possibility that both of these men are going to cross 1,000 yards. Now, I'm not sure that's going to happen because there's only how many games left? 5. And I think right now they're both at about, I want to say 600, maybe 620 each. Like, they're about very close. So it's going to be tight. Probably both going to pass 900,000. It's going to be a little difficult, but I have my eyes out. Real quick, let me turn on the AC because it's getting hot in here. This robe is actually a lot heavier than I thought it would be, but I'm here for it. All right. So with that said, Ryan Tannehill. I didn't have an MJ take for him today, but he played the way you would expect Ryan Tannehill to play for the most part, right? He was making the throws when he had to. When he was pressured, would throw the ball maybe a little bit inaccurately, but he played the way he wanted to, and he's just so dangerous when it comes to the quarterback keep. You saw that on the touchdown at the end of the first half. Saw us having Ryan Tannehill and his performance. We also got better pass protection overall. David Quessenberry looked fine on the left side. It was nice to have Roger Saffold back at left guard. He looked good. I mean, the whole run blocking was great, and the pass protection was better, so that was nice to see. Only 1 sack of Ryan Tannehill today, and it was only 4 yards, and I can't even remember which one it was, to be honest with you. So the pass protection certainly looked better in Indianapolis for Tennessee today. Derrick Henry, okay? Long live the king. King Henry, first of his name. I mean, this guy is incredible. We are getting Hall of Fame level of play from Derrick Henry right now, and I'm not even exaggerating at all. We are getting Hall of Fame level of play from King Henry currently. First of his name. Okay? That's what we're getting. That is what we are getting from Derrick Henry right now. This is insane. Today, 27 carries, 178 yards, and 3 touchdowns. In the first half, had 140 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Second half, he just didn't get the ball much. Well, he did, but we were less effective because I think we just kind of mailed it in because we knew we were going to win the game. But, to be quite honest with you. But the guy was absolutely incredible. This is an incredible run. And okay, I'm looking out for the 2,000 yards. I still don't think he'll get it. We're not talking about because man, getting 2,000 yards is tough. You have to average 125 rushing yards a game. And today he was well above that. He got 178, but he has some catching up to do. He's going to have to average, I think, at least 150 along the way for the rest of the way for him to get there. It's possible. I'm looking out for it because, as we know, Derrick Henry is more effective as the season ends, and he's been damn effective. I mean, you're talking about now through 11 games, he'll have a little over 1,200 yards. I mean, that's insane. That's a little over 100 yards a game. You got to get to 125, so you have some catching up to do. But that's incredible, and he's been better late in the season. So I don't know. We'll see. We're going to need to see a couple 200-plus yard games. There's a couple. And then a couple of those, and then he has to get 100 consistently, and then boom, he'll get it. The Browns, let's see, the Browns, the Jaguars. What's the other team? Let me think of the other team. Let me pull up the schedule. The team I can't keep. Oh, the Lions. Okay, so we face the Browns, the Jaguars, and the Lions. I mean, you can run on them. You can run the Texans most definitely if you carry week 17. But the thing is, when you have these Super Bowl aspirations, and you know what? Once again, okay. I'm going to buy into our Super Bowl aspirations, and we're getting to why in a little bit when we talk about the defense. But when you talk about having Super Bowl aspirations, I'm not sure if you want to go for 2,000 yards for your running back. I mean, when was the last time anyone did that, right? Oh, I mean, yeah, not Super Bowl aspirations, not maybe playoff aspirations. The Vikings with Adrian Peterson, they have playoff aspirations. They actually needed every single bit of that 2,000 yards from Adrian Peterson for them to even get to the playoffs, right? When Chris Johnson got his 2,000 yards, we needed every bit just to go 8-8. When Jamal Lewis did it for the Ravens, I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure they were 13-3 that year, though. I'm pretty sure they were damn good. But for us, I don't know. If it comes push comes to shove, and we're at week 17, and we've won the division, and we're not going to, and honestly, we're not going to get the first seed at this point. There's like no way. The Steelers would have to lose at least 4 games of the next 5 in order for us to even have a chance to. So forget about that. Why would you risk injuring Derrick Henry before the playoffs just for 2,000 yards? You don't want to do that. And I don't think Derrick Henry would get injured. I think this guy's, let's knock on wood. I think the guy's absolutely indestructible. I think he's the Incredible Hulk. But man, I just don't know if you would do that. So we'll monitor the situation carefully. But if you ask me for my projection, I'm projecting 1,800. I'm projecting 1,800 rushing yards for Derrick Henry at this moment, and that is damn good. And we will take that as going to be one of the better rushing totals ever, and certainly for the Tennessee Titans franchise, as he inches closer and closer to Chris Johnson and Eddie George. You saw the graphic today, and we're going to continue to see that graphic over the upcoming years as he inches closer and closer and solidifies himself as the greatest Tennessee Titans running back we've ever seen. As he solidifies himself, I would repeat myself, as the greatest Tennessee Titans running back we've ever seen. The guy's an absolute monster. So, outside of that, I like what we saw from Jeff Swaim. This guy's been a good number 3 tight end. Now, I still want Michael Pruitt over him whenever he comes back, but if we can have all 4 on the roster, I'd like that, because Jeff Swaim, pretty good blocker, catches the ball whenever it's thrown to him, so I like that. Corey Blasingame caught a ball and didn't catch COVID this time, so that was good. I like that from Corey Blasingame. Also didn't catch a case because he almost did that this past offseason too. But anyway, Derrick Henry looked a little decent in the passing game, 2 catches for 7 yards, but you're able to see that he's able to pick up some yards from us. Now, some people are interested in this D'Onta Foreman. Now, I get why, okay? I get it. I really do, because we yearn for a backup running back that can do something, right? This is something that the Tennessee Titans fan base always yearns for. We didn't get it out of David Cobb. We didn't get it out of Javon Ringer. We didn't get it out of David Cobb. We didn't get it out of, the names go on and on and on and on. Now, we got it out of Derrick Henry when he was a backup, but that's about it. Dion Lewis a little bit, but not nearly enough, right? We always yearn for the backup running back. We were talking about Dearton Evans before the season, and he's not going to do anything this season, largely due to injury, but, whatever. He's not going to do anything this season. D'Onta Foreman, I hated him coming out of Texas. He was supposed to go in the 3rd round. I think he ended up going in the 3rd round. I had him as a 7th round prospect or undraftable. I didn't like the guy coming out of college. He was fumble prone. He can hit the hard. He can hit the whatever hole hard, get some good, tough yardage, but that's all he does. I'm just telling you, that's literally all he does. He doesn't catch the ball very well. He's very fumble prone. I'm not into D'Onta Foreman. I'm more into Jeremy McNichols than D'Onta Foreman. But he did run well today, so that's fine. But don't get your hopes on this D'Onta Foreman. I'm just going to tell you right now, for this little bit that we've seen, yes, he can hit the hole hard. For these 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yard gains, cool. But I'm telling you, whenever you ask him to do anything more than that, that's where the game stops for him. He's limited. Let me tell you, trust me, he's very, very, very limited, this D'Onta Foreman. Don't get your hopes too high for D'Onta Foreman. So now let's move on to the defense, okay? Because the defense, we need to see more, right? This is what's holding this team back. This is what, if we can figure out this defense, man, this is what can make this team a true Super Bowl team and a true Super Bowl contender. And I think we are contender. Don't get me wrong. We are definitely a contender. You're 8-3. You're looking at, if you win the next 3 games against the Browns, the Jaguars, and the Lions, being 11-3. That's a Super Bowl contender, and beating the teams that we have this season, beating the Colts as strong as we did today, beating the Buffalo Bills as strong as we did, competing with the Steelers. We've had beating the Ravens. We're a Super Bowl contender. Are we a strong Super Bowl contender? That's the real question. Are we an elite Super Bowl contender? That's the question. So the defense. So there's a lot of things. Now, the defense struggled early. We saw a lot of problems out of the defense. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. Kevin Byard. Okay, so we have to take away the Y and the R from his last name. Because right now, this man is just Kevin Bad. Right now, this man is just Kevin Bad. The mayor of Murfreesboro is MIA. I mean, we don't know where he is. I mean, I can't believe how bad Kevin Byard is. I almost called him Kevin Baby, but I didn't want to be that disrespectful. But you saw today, man, he's always a step or 2 or 3 late to the play. He's not even a great tackler as he used to be. Certainly not as good of a cover safety as he used to be. He's not recognizing stuff as quickly as he used to. Not even close to being in position to making plays and interceptions as he used to be. I mean, I just really don't get it. And we're actually getting better quarterback play, so now it's on him, right? And even in the run support, he's not showing up. And this has been all season long, but today I thought it was his worst game of the season, honestly, and that's saying something. I mean, Kevin Byard was bad today. This was Kevin bad today. And, you know, this is very frustrating as we just paid this man. We just extended this man recently. He's already on the books. And if we all asked ourselves, if we ran a poll today, who would you rather have, Kevin Byard or Corey Davis? 80% at least would say Corey Davis if we ran the poll today. Now, we're a little biased today, but if we ran it 2 months from now, I think it'd be 60-40 Corey Davis, right? I mean, I just don't believe that right now Kevin Byard is very valuable to this team at all, especially for that contract. I have to look at the contract details. I never thought I'd have to do this. Trust me, I never thought I'd have to do this just to see, like, is there an out? Are we going to have to go for this out? I mean, I never even considered having to do this, but now I'm starting to consider doing this because it is really bad right now with Kevin Byard, really concerning. But outside of him, man, how about this Marty Hooker, man? I'm hooked on Hooker. I mean, this guy had his best game. Well, last week was great. So let me say his second best game of his career. But, you know, to string along the last 2 games of his career here, he's finding the ball, he's stripping it out, he's trying to intercept balls, he's finding the ball, being tough, being physical, breaking up passes. He almost had the forced fumble at near the end of the game. The guy is making plays, moving forward. He should be starting over Kenny Vaccaro. I'm not sure what the starting depth chart was today. It might have been him, but I saw more Hooker out there than Vaccaro today. Good. I didn't see that moving forward. Forget about Kenny Vaccaro's concussion. He was always all right. He was over average. The plan was always for us to groom a strong safety behind Kenny Vaccaro and to one day replace Kenny Vaccaro. He was always a placeholder. He was always a guy that was supposed to be there just for a little bit. And then you move on when you find someone better. He was always going to be a Jonathan Babineau, okay? If you remember that guy, yeah. Just a guy, you know, you put him in there, play for a couple years, you move on. Jonathan Cyprian, play for a couple years, you move on. Kenny Vaccaro, you play for a couple years, you move on. And now let's move on to Marty Hooker, who could finally be the strong safety this defense has needed for quite a while. Not since the days of Chris Hope have I really loved our strong safety position, and now I could once again really love our strong safety position. What was that one guy we had, that George? Remember that old guy, George something, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, and he came to us, I want to say in 2013 under Rustin Webster. But still, you know, we always had like these middle-lane strong safeties. Let's get a real impact-making strong safety. And it looks like Marty Hooker is going to be that. And with Desmond King in the slot, all of a sudden, and this Breon Borders. Now, let me tell you about this Breon Borders. Now, this guy, the border is not solid, okay? It's not the wall that Trump wanted. It's semi-permeable. You can get through it, but it's pretty good. You know, it's better than what we've seen. It's better than Ty Smith. It's better than Jonathan Joseph. He competes. Sometimes he'll get beat, but he'll get up. You know, just as he got beat by T.Y. Hilton, not on the touchdown, but on the deep pass near the end of the game, he got up and almost, you know, saved the play for Marty Hooker to come and force a fumble. I mean, he did have a critical stop on T.Y. Hilton in the end zone. Maybe it was it T.Y. Hilton? Yeah, it was. And then he let up the touchdown to T.Y. Hilton. So, you know, he's semi-permeable. It's not a great border. He dropped the ball. It was a horrible drop. It was a kindergarten level drop. Every single football player over the age of 13 needs to make that play. Literally, every single, even me. If you put me on the football field and the ball's just coming to me, I have to make that catch, okay? Now, some people are saying catch it with your hands. Look, I don't care if you catch it with your hands or like the easy I make the catch, okay? You put your hands together. If you just put your hands together and bring it, but every time you try to clamp down like that, I mean, are you in kindergarten? How are you 7? What are you doing? Okay, I mean, come on. It was literally the easiest interception. This is one of the worst drops I've ever seen in my life. Now, he's a DB. He's not a wide receiver, so I'm not going to be too critical, but it was bad. Now, he made up for it with a great interception later on in the game. So that was great. So we're seeing semi-permeability when it comes to Breon Borders. The Borders is semi-permeable. Sometimes you can get past, sometimes you can't. But he's young, he's improving, he's been on every single practice squad from here to San Francisco, and now he's here. So let's just see. I'm not even sure he'll play for San Francisco. I just know he's been on a crap load of practice squads. But my point is this, you know, you see the potential, and I feel much more comfortable with him out there than I did Ty Smith, than I did Jonathan Joseph, and at times, than I do Malcolm Butler, to be honest with you. Okay, so I'm okay with Breon Borders right now. I don't think he's the most athletic guy, but he still kind of makes up for it. So I'm here for it. I think he's a smart player. All right, so outside of that, man, how about that, man, Big Jeff Simmons? I mean, this guy with huge sack today really gave Quentin Nelson, the guard for the Indianapolis Colts, problems. And this is what we need, not only in this game, but moving forward, as Quentin Nelson is not going anywhere, and neither is Jeffrey Simmons. This is going to be a battle to keep your eyes on for years to come, maybe even a decade. And we're going to watch this battle take place. But I thought Jeffrey Simmons won this battle today and got a critical sack, which I absolutely love. Now, again, I don't love the fact that Big Jeff Simmons might be our best pass rusher. Harold Landry, I guess, is, but Simmons is second. Okay, he's second, and he shouldn't be. Sorry, he's great. He shouldn't be our second best pass rusher, or at least at the very least, he shouldn't be, you know, second in sacks. And he should be second in sacks at this point, and that's just too. He shouldn't be second in sacks. So that's a little frustrating, but, you know, whatever. We'll take it. He's a great defensive tackle, and I'm wondering, you know, we're gonna start looking at the Pro Bowl votes. You know, I think he should make it. I mean, and that's not even me being biased. I think he's a Pro Bowler this season. I think he should make it 100%. I mean, he's been our best defensive player all season long. He's been making plays. He's an absolute beast. I think Big Jeff Simmons should make the Pro Bowl, and let's start the campaign. Harold Landry, he continues to find pressure, continue to make some plays, you know, tackling the ball. You know, he's looking a little better actually out there, you know, down the stretch here in the season. So I like seeing that. Now, will he ever, well, I don't know. We'll see if he ever becomes elite. He's not elite right now, but he's good. He's a good pass rusher. He's a good outside linebacker. So I like that. You look at the inside, Rashawn Evans just kept doing Rashawn Evans things. There's nothing really to note there. David Long, second of his name. Now, he was all right. You know, he missed the coverage on Trey Burton one play, but did make a strong tackle on one of the Colts running backs. I want to say it was Naheem Hines on a critical third down, which I love. Could have been Jordan Wilkins, one of the two. They look very similar to me, to be honest with you. And I liked that. He made some other nice tackles, which I liked. But, you know, I don't know why we haven't been playing this guy. Look, this Will Compton, look, I know everyone loves him because he's one of the bussing with the boys, whatever. I would much rather play, and they play different positions, or at least different responsibilities. So I'll grant you that. Okay, fine. But I'd rather see David Long out there. So at least now we're seeing David Long out there because you see more, you know, out of him than you do like a Will Compton. I'm sorry. So that's nice to see. People are interested in this Te'er Tart, this defensive tackle. He looks okay, but I don't know. I mean, our run defense today, I mean, we only allowed 2.7 yards per carry. I need to do a deep dive on him before I ever really point him out, but he made like a play today, so I'll note that. And the Desmond King, the second of his name, Desmond King, second of his name, Jesus. But yeah, the guy is good. You know, he's a good corner, and I don't know if we're going to keep this guy because the money's going to be tight, but you know, down the stretch, man, this Breon Borders, this Desmond King, second of his name, you're talking about, hopefully, I mean, we keep talking about this. I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I mean, I think, you know, the winter is coming. Winter's been coming for a while, waiting for this damn Adoree Jackson to come back. It's like waiting for a White Walker. Okay, my goodness, we've been waiting for these White Walkers. We've been waiting for Adoree Jackson to come back. Anyway, Adoree Jackson, Breon Borders, Desmond King, second of his name, Malcolm Butler, okay, the butler to this court here that we have going on, because he ain't on the court, but he could be a butler. Oh yeah, he could be a butler to this court. This could work. Marty Hooker too, back there. Oh, it could work. Now, guess who I didn't say? Kevin Byard. I cannot believe that all of a sudden Kevin Byard is the weakness in our secondary potentially? No. No. Get it together, Mayor of Murfreesboro, immediately. Okay, come on. You're talking about you might be the problem in our secondary? Come on, dog. You got to do better than that. But I'm interested. Things are getting interesting. We got to get him back. And I don't know what the Jadeveon Clowney situation is. He's definitely not on the King's Court right now. He is the clown. He is the jester. And that's unfortunate. But you know, maybe this guy can come back and contribute. Maybe he won't. Maybe he needs to get this meniscus thing. No one knows what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But it'd be nice to have him out there. I'm once again having Super Bowl aspirations. They will be vindicated. Maybe not vindicated, but they will be more validated. I'll say that. if we beat the Browns next week, and I think that we will. The Browns are due for a loss. Okay, like they're I think they're the same record as us, right? 8-3 heading into next week's game. Maybe even 9. No, they should be 8-3. They should have already had a bye week. They're not. No, let me check the record real quick. I really feel like they're 9-3, but they should have had a bye week at this point. That's weird. Okay, yeah, they're 8-3. They're 8-3. So the battle of the 8-3 Titans and the 8-3 Browns, but the Browns don't deserve to be 8-3, especially with no Odell Beckham Jr. We need to go out there. We need to beat the Browns, solidify ourselves, and this will do this. Although I still believe we're ultimately going to win this division, and I really do believe this definitively. Okay. At the very least, if we beat the Browns, then we'll feel better about the wild card. And we're going to make the wild card at this point because the Raiders lost today. That pretty much, that was the only real threat to knock us out. You know, really. Especially also that we beat the Ravens too. Yeah, I'm not worried about the wild card right now. Unless we just go on an incredible losing streak, but I just don't see it, especially facing the Jaguars and the Lions and the Texans. So I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. And let's check this Colts schedule. So, again, I'm not too worried about the Colts. I think we'll take care of business in the next 3 weeks, and then we won't have to really talk about it even when it comes week 17. But let's check this Colts schedule. And by the way, did they sweep they didn't sweep the Jaguars. I know that. Did they sweep the Texans? They didn't. And I think they're going to lose to the Texans. Next week, they travel to Houston. Well, I don't know if they'll lose, but if they lose, then it's over. If they lose to the Texans, it's over because then we can lose to the Texans week 17 and then it won't matter. And then we're still going to have a better divisional record than them. So that's fantastic. Boom. I mean, that'll be it. We can tie with them. We'll beat them. That's great. They travel to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. They didn't even face the Texans at all. It's in the week later after that. They face the Texans. Then they travel to Pittsburgh. Then they host the Jaguars. There's only one game that I can definitively say, too. They'll beat the Texans once, and they'll beat the Jaguars. Cool. But I don't think they're going to beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And the Raiders game is 60-40. They'll probably beat the Raiders, but that's not a given. Hell, when the week comes, I might pick the Raiders if I feel like it. So I feel good in the AFC South. I feel good. I don't want to be too confident. I feel good. Unless if we revert back to the old Tennessee Titans and we choke against the Lions, but the Lions stink. I mean, they just fired their, head coach and Matt Patricia, who will be our defensive coordinator next year. So get ready for that. I'm telling you right now, get ready for that. And then, hell, hopefully we don't get Bill O'Brien too. Jesus. That's my bold prediction right now. And then if Arthur Smith leaves. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, you look at this team. I feel good about the AFC South going forward, and then we'd have to position ourselves in the playoffs because we're not getting the first seed. Steelers are getting the first seed, or Steelers or Chiefs, and that's it. We're too late, sorry. And then we'll see what happens in the playoffs, man. But it's going to be a very chaotic playoffs in the AFC. I give us a good chance. I mean, I'm not going to say we're a Super Bowl team, but I give us a chance because I think it's just chaos. I think it's just going to be chaos. Because although the Chiefs are great, you just know that the defense is bad. It's a liability. If you can get a head on them, if we can, what we wanted to do last year in Kansas City, but we failed to do, if you can get a head on them, run the football, play a little D, you can win in Kansas City. You can. We can beat Pittsburgh. They're flawed. They're undefeated. They might go undefeated the whole year. I don't think that they will, but they might. They're flawed. We know they're flaws. Their offense is not as good as people think it is. Their defense is very good. Has some flaws, has some holes. Every single team in this league right now has holes. So we have the potential to go on a run because we have holes too, by the way. We're just gonna be a competition to see, like, despite the holes, who can pull it out. And today was such a dominant victory. We were motivated. We came out. We did what we had to do. Let's get this streak going. Let's get it rolling. Remember that streak that we had in the last season that carried us into the playoffs? And then, boom, got us the wild card win against the Patriots. Boom, got us the division win against the Ravens. That's the run that we can get on now. It's time to get the ball rolling. I want to win out. I want to go 13-3. That's what I want. Is that what's going to happen as we go to Green Bay week 16? I don't know. But that's what I want. Moving forward, let's get into the playoffs. Let's win that wild card against the Raiders or whoever, who cares? And then boom, we'll go to Pittsburgh, we'll go to the Chiefs, and then boom, we'll face either one of those teams probably in the next round. Probably, although you never know. The Browns or someone might upset on the other side. We'll see. And then we'll handle business, and then we'll go to the NFC, and then we'll face whoever we want in the Super Bowl, and we'll see what happens. It's just going to be a lot of seeing what happens. There's no definitive teams this year that are just flawless or just so far ahead of the pack. Like last year, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the 49ers, and I mean, that was it to me. I mean, a lot of people had faith in the Rams. Was it the Rams last year or was that the year before? The Rams would be the year before. Those are the three teams that were definitively ahead of the pack. Everyone knew that. No, This year, that's not the case. The Chiefs are kind of, but that's it. The Steelers are flawed. I do not care that they're undefeated. They are flawed. They could be beat in the round one. I wouldn't be shocked. If they lost their bye week and they had to face the Browns in the wild card round, if they lost, I wouldn't be shocked. Would you be shocked? That would not be shocking to me. So everything's on the table in this upcoming playoffs, and I feel good about our position moving forward. So with that said, this has been King MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment. What were your thoughts on the Tennessee Titans versus the Indianapolis Colts game? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, I'm out. See you all later.